Right there.
Marky is the best shirt. Best shirt.
So many reasons, and not a single explanation necessary. If you watch the show tonight, you have 2 or 3 brand new reasons to not want to see Curtis Cole. What is up, boys? What an ignition tonight, huh? How we doing?
Crazy ignition.
Wow, that actually worked out pretty smoothly.
Not bad.
I was expecting a hiccup somewhere. That was pretty cool, not gonna lie. How's it going, everybody? How are y'all doing?
The hard part was making sure I didn't cuss. That was the hardest part.
That's always the hard part, though.
That's the hard part. That's the wicked hard part.
That is the wicked hard part.
All right, we have Yo Lock as champion, Lilith Grimm, in the chat.
What's up, champ?
We also have Hunter Dillon.
Hey, Hunter.
What's up, dude?
All right.
Most of the time we say wicked, it's just in place of the cuss word.
For the most part.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Dudes and Belts Reignited Post Show here on YouTube. My name is Johnny Deathdrop, and I am your host for this evening, as always. And boy, what a fantastic ignition that we saw just moments ago here on this YouTube channel. Before we get into everything, let's introduce the panel for this evening. On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine. Finally going to get a Beacon of the Week after a couple weeks. He is the pickle lover of all pickles. He is the one, the one and only Closer Crusader. You notice how I do it on Reignited and not Recharge?
I do like pickles, though. I mean, but I do like pineapple on my pizza, too. And I really liked Ignition tonight. I especially thought Cushman looked good tonight. I'll give that man some props. So I give him a 4 on a scale of 20.
All right. And you know where I'm going with this one, ladies and gentlemen. He is your resident masshole himself. He is the one that finally admits that he does somewhat like pineapple on pizza. I don't care what he says. He is the resident masshole, Marky Pins. How's it going?
Very, very little of a somewhat on my pizza. It is a minuscule amount. Coastal gave Cushman a 4 out of 20. I give pineapple like a 3 out of 100. Only if I was like in dire need, but that is not why we are here tonight. There was so much action on Ignition. The point standings got all kinds of shook up over here. We start the show tonight with a horse fight, your champion, David Drake. There was all kinds of action going on. We got to get right to this thing right now, buddy. No more pineapple.
Oh, no, there will be pineapples. There will be
no pineapple in this discussion. No.
Yes.
Listen, if you keep pineappling him, he is going to Roddy Piper coconut you the next time he sees you.
I would like to see that. I would pay to see that. All right. You guys ready to talk about Ignition?
Push a guy.
Absolutely.
Don't push a guy. Yes. Let's talk about the show.
Great shirt, Marky Pins.
Thank you, sir. I gave you the money for it, so looks good. Thank you, sir. You made a hell of a suggestion on this particular color and size.
What a fast turnaround, too, on those shirts, too. There's only like a
extremely.
week or two.
I mean, when there's that much
it was
demand for something.
No, right. No. But I think there was a high demand in this situation just because of the verbiage on the shirt. I think.
You know how they had the Cesaro section? Maybe we need a hate Curtis Cole section.
I hate Curtis Cole section.
Yeah.
They were flying off of the merch table faster than Mr. Forthrow could keep up with it. I was there. We saw. They were flying out of the place.
Just like Austin 316 shirts back in the day.
Telling you, yeah, but nowhere near as cool as an Austin 316 shirt. It says Curtis Cole.
Wow.
All right. Let's get right down to business here. Let's give what the people want to see, which is a show and us talk about Ignition.
That's why we are here.
First up on deck this evening to start off this episode of Ignition was Brew going up against David Drake, your RMP champion. And for this match, it was a 4-point bounty.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when we get to it here, I mean, Brew can't cash in on that, but he gave it a hell of an offer. I will say that this was a big match for Brew. This is kind of, I believe, a culmination of the, him coming back. This is kind of a measuring stick match. Yes, it wasn't for a title, but it was for 4 points to get to a title. And I really have to think that this is kind of okay. where am I along in this road to, I'll say recovery. It's not recovery, it's a comeback. But where am I along this right now? And I'll tell you, you're not far off, Brew. This was a great match. You really took Drake to a limit. You succumb to what everyone else has succumbed to, which is just the lengths David Drake will go to hang on to that, to win a match. And most of the time it is just to render you unconscious, Mark. That's David Drake's finishing move at this point. It's just rendering you unconscious.
It really is. I mean, and it's noticeable because he goes for it any which point you're close by him. The more often that we see David Drake go for the maul is when he's just been covered. You know what I mean? Like he just kicked out of a 2 and then bang, the maul comes right when you're at your most susceptible. You kind of, how did I not put him? There's the maul. So Brew does a good job of blocking it many, many times. And he does a great job of showing fighting spirit against the champion because Drake is just trying to keep him down as much as he can. Brew shows amazing fighting spirit, keeps fighting up, keeps gaining an advantage. Drake knocks it back down. And then at the end, he just can't succumb. There's only so many times that you can block that mandible maul or that you can get out of it. And Drake just got it on one too many times, and Brew had to succumb to it at the very end of the match. And Drake takes a win here. But I don't think this is a bad loss, to be completely honest. Brew looked amazing, didn't he? Out there against the champion. You put it very well. It's a measuring stick situation. And I think Brew rose to the challenge, did amazingly well. Better than most everybody has done.
He did. Had him.
He looked better than many, many people have looked in the ring against David Drake. So big ups to Brew. Don't take too many down.
Who knows if Drake doesn't take his leg out at that knee? Brew was rolling up until that. He got shot blocked. So
he was. That was a big difference maker point. They talk about game breaker plays or playmaker type plays. Right. That was the play that changed the whole rest of the game for David Drake.
Yeah, that was
keep him down.
That was a game changing play.
Yes, it was.
All right. We're not wasting any time here. We're going to keep on rocking and rolling here. Our next match was a debut.
Yeah, we had a couple good debuts tonight.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
We had Panthro going up against the newcomer, the one from Texas, Axel Savage, making his debut here at Rocky Mountain Pro. What did you guys think of this match, and what did you think about Axel Savage?
I was impressed. I got to say, the guy comes out he's very colorful, and you feel a lot of different eras in the guy, with his gear and the way he works in the ring. He's very powerful, but I also see some quickness in him. I see some Ultimate Warrior. I see some Macho Man Randy Savage. I see a lot of good stuff from back in the day wrapped in a very impressive package that is what he calls himself, the Texas Nightmare. And I could kind of believe it. Maybe he kind of gave those West Texas Legacy guys a whole bunch of what they couldn't handle, and now we come over here to up his game even farther. But he looks really good against Panthro tonight, showing no intimidation, no worries whatsoever. Gets in there, he's a big, powerful guy, so we see the power moves right off the bat. Coastal Panthro looked like he was fighting from his back hind legs, from his rear quarters for most of the match, until he comes back in with the claws and the cat run in the corner and the avalanches and stuff. But then we see at the very, very end, Jason Knoll plays a big part of this, because I think Jason was worried that the newcomer was going to get in and take a piece of Panthro back to Texas with him. Kind of looked like Jason dropped in the little piece of punch you in the face, and Panthro kind of sees it and takes care of the situation. But in the process of the ref having his back turned, Jason jumps in and hits Axel with the sky high. And Jason Knoll, we talk about the game breaker or the play. He was the game breaker in this match for Axel Savage. Axel was doing a very good job against Panthro, but Coastal, Jason coming in and making his presence felt. What would you think about a Savage versus Jason Knoll match? They matched up pretty good, didn't they?
They did. I mean, it's two big dudes, and I honestly think this wasn't so much for Panthro as it was for Jason Knoll. He has been on a roll lately. They really have had, other than that hiccup they had against your starting lineup back at Milestone, that he has been rolling. We'll see him later on tonight. And I think this was more so, I don't want you bringing me down by association if you lose this match, so I'm going to make sure you win. I think that might have been more of the thing coming out of this. But yeah, Axel looked great. I mean, this guy, what I see out of him is just raw. He is raw power. If someone could just coach him and teach him, and I'm sure they are in Texas. I'm sure but if like he could work with a guy like a Damon Ace or like a Mercury Yaden a big guy who can fine tune those moves, man, this guy really has a lot of those tools. I'm excited to see more of him if possible.
I completely agree. I think he would fit in very well, and he'd match up very well with some of the higher established talent RMP, like in a Tebow or a Bruce Waynes or some of those fellas. Damon Ace comes to mind, Mercury Yaden as well. So, yeah, very impressive debut. Too bad it took two guys to beat him, but it is what it is. And I've got a funny feeling that Axel Savage is pretty proud about his debut in Rocky Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that it took two people to beat him definitely says a lot about what he did in his debut match tonight. Honestly, I agree with both of you guys on Axel Savage. I think he is definitely a very good prospect, I guess you could say, for Rocky Mountain Pro. And hopefully we see him in the near future, because I think he put on one hell of a show tonight.
I'd love to see him again, to be honest. He's good.
All right, we
absolutely.
have D-Hort13 becoming a pay-per-view member for 4 months. Dudes, 4 months happily watching along.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, D-Hort. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, let's keep things rolling here. I feel like we've said this contest quite a bit this year in 2023. Lola
Yes, we have.
versus Lilith. And go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say we say it a lot, but it never disappoints.
It never does.
It's always
you're right.
banger of a match.
It's something
this
different.
One was no
it's
different.
Something different. Well, not always different, but there's always something different. There's always a different finish that we see from these two.
Well, they need to. It's important. They've wrestled each other many, many times, so each one's getting used to the arsenal that the other one possesses. So each one has to keep upping the game, and especially now with Lilith Grimm being Lockett's champion, Lola is going to have to elevate it even higher in Coastal. We saw a lot of that tonight, didn't we? This was one of their better encounters.
It really was, and this is a different match for Lola because now Lilith has the title. The wins mean that much more, and she can get those wins. We've seen it in the past. But we haven't seen this level of Lilith Grimm. This is the top of the mountain level. And she shows again tonight the brute strength and the raw power. And Margie, she literally just got sick of messing around, picked Lola up on her shoulders, and dropped her with Burning Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And the match,
one of the biggest burning hammers we've ever seen. It was almost like she pushed her up a foot or two.
With a bum leg, she was just like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm finishing this. And she did. She just picked her up. So, I mean,
testament to Lilith right there for Lola spotting out and scouting that Lilith's knees are some of the most important joints in the body with some of Lilith's finishes that she uses, that Lilithine and the Burning Hammer. If you could take her out at the knees, now you limit Lilith Grimm, the champion, you limit her to the Mancuerda, which not saying that that isn't impactful enough, but, it's very difficult for a opponent to lock it down.
But you still need your knees there to snap to go back.
Right. Right. So Lola learning, getting her XP bar up, Lilith Grimm being the champion. This was a hell of a battle between them. And Lilith ends up winning this one, proving her dominance right now, that she is the Lockett's champion and that there is nobody who is going to take that belt off of her. Lola came close to earning some kind of discussion here because this was very, very good match between the two of them. But Lilith Grimm looking strong and then saying the words that she needed to hear herself say, that the asylum is over. It is done. It is Lilith Grimm's time. It feels amazing to be the Lockett's champion. She's been chasing that title for so long, and we've been seeing it, how the Asylum took so much away from her for so long, and the battle back to become the champion is the reward. Now she has to defend it, though, boys. Now she has to be there every night. Now the target is on her back. But that Lilith Grimm at the end of this match tonight leaves me a lot of confidence going forward that that title may not be going anywhere for a while.
It more than likely is not, but she says it's over. If I know one thing about Salem Wolf and that asylum, just keep an eye over your shoulder every once in a while.
That's a very valid point, too. That is a valid point.
Yeah, because we didn't even see Salem or Christy get out of the casket after that match was over, so God only knows. All right. Before we continue on with this fine program, For all you guys watching on YouTube, if you guys don't mind, please hit that like button and make sure you leave a comment below the VOD. It helps us out with the algorithm, yada yada. And also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notification bells, and make sure you don't miss a single Rocky Mountain Pro Ignition or Dudes and Belts live show or charge during the week here on YouTube. Yeah, we'll get into
Come on, push that like button.
You know you want to.
Just push it. Takes 2 seconds. Push the button.
Do it.
Ring the bell.
Ring
Just
the
do
bell.
it. It's a little
Do the
thing.
thing.
Ring the bell.
Just do the
The
thing.
little things. Ring the bell. I can ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
There you go. You rung the bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right. Moving on here. We have Echo versus Cushman. All right. Now, I know before we get into this match, there has been a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of people talking about Echo and his mindset after the loss at Milestone 13. And, yeah, I know it was loud. I keep on forgetting to turn it down. My bad, guys. What do you guys think? After, like, during this match, you could tell that there's a lot of facial expressions shown on Echo. What do you think is going through Echo's mind right now after the loss of Milestone 13? And it seems like what we saw on Charge, that they're not split up. La Isla's not split up, but they're definitely going to try and focus on themselves and their singles resume.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys thinking?
I mean, I said it on Tuesday. I think that this is a little bit of an edge coming from Echo, and I think it's I think we're going to start seeing him assert himself more in a dominant way. We've seen the innovator of offense. We saw it tonight with that finish. I mean, what a great kick to the chest. You know, an interesting way to finish that match, but we've seen all of this. Was it the cutter? It was the cutter. I'm sorry. I was thinking a couple moves before that where he had the kick to the chest.
Yeah.
No, but even the cutter, like, we've seen the innovator of offense style, but I think this is where we're going to see a more aggressive, a more edgy. I think the frustration is coming out, but I think it's going to be a good frustration. I think this is going to take Echo, hopefully not down a dark path, but down a rougher path, and maybe we'll see him twinge that aggression up, which will help him get past some of these roadblocks I think he's had in singles. Well, I mean, I know he's had titles, you know, former Twitch champion, and he's held other championships, but, you know, you got to crest that mountain at some point. Maybe this aggression will be a good thing for him, Marky. Maybe this is a good frustration.
You know, that's kind of where I'm going with it here. Like, you can understand winning the tag team championships with your Broseph, and you guys are the champs, and you guys are some of the hottest guys in the company that, you know, you go out there and it's just fire every single time. We couldn't decide who was the better hot tag out of the two of them. They both would just come in and get it done for each other. And then in the end, La Isla's hands were being raised high. And it took, again, we talk about a match where it took more than just the team you were fighting against. We saw the shenanigans. We saw what happened at Milestone. We know exactly what happened.
Yes, we do.
I think the idea of how high they were as tag team champions, coupled with the way that they lost, is a real big low. We saw them on Tuesday on Charged, and we saw them kind of have that mutual respect for each other. Now it's all about where they're going to take it. I think that now it's a good thing if they both go in their own direction for a while. There's no hard feelings. But to Coastal, to your point, I do think that there will be some kind of professional competition between the two of them. And I do believe it's going to be anything you can do, I can do better of a situation. Whether or not Balaam is trying to do that, I think Echo is going to step himself up, because I think he sees that the next level of where he needs to go for that Charge Championship or for the Rocky Mountain Pro Heavyweight Championship is going to require a little bit of that extra grit. And I think the both of them realized that. We saw Balaam have the Charge title match with CBD the other night. We saw what happened there. CBD pulled one over. So nobody's really beating Balaam or Echo straight up. They're finding ways to, like, get around the corner of where the rule is and get out of there with a cheap win. La Isla really shouldn't hold their heads too far down, but at the same point in time, they need to hold them up, because forward is where they need to go. And I do believe that gold is in both of their futures. Will they meet each other for gold someday? That'll be up for debate. We'll have to see that. But that would be something that we absolutely want to see. But for both of them, I think it's a mutual respect thing at this moment in time.
I think it's a mutual respect thing, but let's face something here. Echo continues to lose titles this way. He got screwed out of the Twitch title. He got screwed out of the tag team titles.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Balaam had one taken away from him because he chose to violate a stipulation at that point where his, Damon and both of him were stripped of titles. But Echo, this is getting old, I think, for him. Getting screwed out of things. I think we're going to, like I said, I think we're going to see him forcefully take what he wants from now on.
And honestly, that wouldn't be a bad look for Echo because he's got the moves and he's got the experience to back it all up behind it. So if that's his motivation right now, get out of his way, to be honest.
No, very good points. And we saw at the end result, him defeating Cushman with that, I guess you could say, inverted top rope cutter there that came out of nowhere. Almost kind of Randy Orton-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say Cushman thought he was Evan Bourne for a minute.
Yeah.
Paid for it. Cushman looked good tonight. He really did.
Cushman did look good. You can't take nothing away from him.
This was one of Cushman's better outings, honestly. With all due respect to him, I know I gave him a 4 out of 20 early. That was tongue-in-cheek. He looked this was a better match than we've seen him wrestle, and honestly, a better showing than I think a lot of us thought he would have against the guy caliber of Echo.
Echo was just there with every reversal, every go behind. He just
XP bar, Marky. XP bar.
Well,
it is the battle of the XP bar.
That's his MO, man. That's his MO. All right. Moving on here. We have some more Lockettes action for you, and holy cow, is Adrian Mascara on a freaking roll, ladies and gentlemen.
This match. You want a definition of what RMP is all about? This match.
Midnight
was so very good.
Midnight versus Adrian Mascara.
One thing I love about Adrian Mascara, all right, I'm a huge fan of this. She has been the smaller competitor more often than not, but that girl got the fire, don't she?
The fire.
She just,
got
fire, like wicked fire, like all of the orange and hot stuff. Every little tiny
and
bit of it.
all of the silent R's and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
what is an R? I don't even know what
exactly.
it is.
No.
What's an R? But no, she shows zero intimidation when faced with Midnight. Other people have cowered and kind of been very, very hesitant in the beginning. And Mascara comes up just like she was shot out of a cannon. And that's how you have to attack somebody bigger than you like that. We've seen people do it to people like Damon Ace, like some of the bigger stars. Then you have to start fast, because if you don't, they get a hold of you. It's very nearly going to be curtains for you at that moment. And Adrian keeps a good advantage for a long time. Midnight quickly realizes she's in for a fight here. It's not going to be 1 or 2 moves and the thing is over. Amazing back and forth. The fighting spirit in Mascara is what's going to carry her forward. She can take a beating, she can get up, and then she can give that one move for space. We haven't seen her very long in RMP, but she's wrestling very, very experienced. Like, she manages to get her space, to get some air into the lungs, and then can get back in with a move as long as she doesn't take too much time. And that's the beginning learning step. Don't take too much time, but get that air into the lungs to get the next move off. And she really, really does. She ends up reversing Midnight's finisher, Witch Abyss Wood. We haven't seen anybody reverse out of that.
No, we have not.
And with the big running knee, and gets a really good near fall. But then Midnight comes back with the big slam. Adrian powers back out and then hits a hanging neck breaker and then a nice sunset flip and keeps the legs on the shoulders and gets the win over Midnight. This was, your I don't want to say David versus Goliath because it's the ladies, but like what? The smaller woman versus big woman.
I mean,
I don't know what the analogy is, but it's a David and Goliath analogy. What can the smaller competitor do to keep the bigger competitor down? Impact, impact, impact. And that's what Adrian brought.
Yeah, and if there was one person I thought that could beat Midnight, because, I mean, this is either one of the very few losses Midnight has had, if not the first one, we have seen in this division. She's been damn near impossible to beat. But I'm like, Adrian has that fire, that ability to capitalize on things and sneak things in, and that's exactly what she did all through this match. To me, this win, beating someone like Midnight, and then she either needs to face Lola, who lost to Lilith tonight, or she is that next in line, and she deserves a shot at Lilith. She's done nothing but win since she debuted. Much like Bruce, on his comeback, this is, if she faces Lilith coming up, be it for the title or not, is a measuring stick match.
Accurate.
And I'm very excited to see it because she has done nothing but impress me since she debuted.
What a little spitfire she is, man.
Oh.
The energy, the multiple different moves. She's got that nice finisher, the psychedel lock. We didn't get to see that tonight, but she's got moves in the arsenal. We see that she's quick. She throws her knees around. She's not scared to make impact. And that's how she's going to climb this ladder.
Yeah.
And against Midnight, that is a statement win in the Lockettes locker room. Don't think that they didn't leave talking about that more than anything tonight.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you guys. I mean, Adrian right now, I think, is just about made her way up to a discussion for possibly being a number one contender for that Lockettes championship in the near future, really.
Unless that whiny brat Curtis Cole wants to try and be number one contender for that, too.
I mean, we've seen
I
Steven
definitely think
Ashburn
she's
do it.
earned herself into the discussion.
Yeah.
Of being able
Absolutely.
to be talked about for at least a match against the champion, not necessarily a title match right away,
it
but
doesn't even have
I
to be
definitely think she's
non-title.
earned a shot.
I think.
Yeah.
I think in my eyes, I think it's between two Lockettes right now. It's between Adrian, in my opinion, and Skylar. Because even though she lost on Charge, remember, she was the final two, or technically final three, because Tommy went through the second rope, and we saw how that happened last week on Charge. But I wouldn't even count that. Skylar Slice was the final two at the Colorado Cup and almost made history that night.
That's true.
So
That's true.
those would be my
And I
two
think Skylar came
runners
out
right now.
first or second, too. She came out like first or second.
She came out number one and almost lasted the
one.
entire match. It's pretty impressive. But I think
Very.
I think in my opinion, the way that everything's shaping up right now, after Lilith Grimm won the title at Milestone 13, I'm definitely seeing Adrian Mascara and Skylar Slice being those top two right now as your contenders for that title in the near future. Moving on here, and we got to talk about this match too, because I mean, this match had no business being as close as it did from the start.
I'm glad you said it.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you said it.
You're welcome. Briscoe Crown versus Damon Ace.
I was very, very surprised how close this was. Briscoe, I know we keep saying it's surprising, and it shouldn't surprise us. I think it was just the size difference that really surprises.
Well, okay, so let me rephrase that for a second here. Briscoe did upset Damon at the Grand Prix last year, okay? So
Yeah.
I'm not even putting upset as like an option.
That was a
here.
different Damon.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't count that. That was even a different Damon.
Yeah, and
this
was a different Damon too, just on the opposite side. That's why I'm saying I'm trying to be more specific here. The way that Damon's been rolling, and especially after capturing the NRW Championship at Milestone 13, the way that his mindset is right now, that's why I'm surprised that this match was so close, is because Damon's been on a freaking warpath lately.
Right, but these are those little reality checks, and I'm not saying Briscoe is a little reality check. You know, those things like, you're riding high, you think, you're untouchable, then somebody like Briscoe shows up and takes you to a limit like he did tonight. And it literally was the strength difference that won this, because if Damon Ace isn't as strong as he is, Briscoe hits that crowning achievement instead of being flung 3/4 of the way across the ring, and this match is over. Briscoe Crown is showing week after week that he is big match ready, and give him an opportunity and you won't be disappointed. And I think it's, at this point, it really is just he needs to capitalize on one of these opportunities, and he's going to do it eventually, and he's going to get in one of these big match scenarios, Marky, much like he was tonight with a newly crowned NRW champion, Damon Ace, who's had many great things happening for him lately. Briscoe comes in tonight and says, it's another day at the office, watch this.
That's true. And for the majority of the match, that's what we see. A lot of Briscoe Crown catching Damon Ace off guard with a lot of quick moves. But then we also see some Damon get to a point in the match where he starts feeling himself and starts playing with his food. He starts messing with Briscoe, smacking him around and peeling him off the canvas and stuff in the middle of a cover. That's the stuff that almost cost Damon this match. Not only Briscoe's intelligence of being able to get to where he had to get to hit the next move. The heart and the fire of the kid is what kept him in the match for the long haul. And you were right, Coastal. It was just more Damon's power and just his overall size that allowed him to just be that one step further ahead at the end of the match. But take zero away from Briscoe Crown. He fought like his whole life. Everything depended on it tonight. And he had Damon more than a couple times in this match. I know if Damon was here, he would disagree and he would yell and scream about how he was never in any danger right here. But Briscoe Crown might be on some kind of level where he is getting, not necessarily in Damon's head, but that he's getting in his own head, knowing who he's got to be there with, how he has to wrestle each different opponent, and climbing that XP ladder. That is the most important thing. You can have matches with people, but if your XP bar doesn't keep going up, you're kind of stuck in neutral at the moment in time, and that doesn't get you anywhere. Briscoe's Crown, match after match after match, his XP bar is getting more and more full. Each match, he levels up. Tonight, I think he leveled up twice against the guy, the stature and the demeanor right now. Because like you said, Johnny, Damon is riding high. He just beat Yaden. We saw her on Charge that now he has the mental advantage. He's naming Yaden's opponents coming up first. So he's in a place where he feels very comfortable with himself. Like I said, he's really feeling himself right now. That's a dangerous thing if you're anybody else except the weapon. But Briscoe Crown did a great job tonight, taking everything he could. He was one move short. And Damon would be here, he'd say that's still a win. And you're right, sir, it is. But Briscoe Crown is the guy. He is for real. It's not just in March. It's anytime there's a show. Watch out for BC.
He just doesn't lose in March.
No, he doesn't.
You know, Mark, you and I, you know, the three of us were all competitive, and we do a lot of head-to-head stuff in bowling. We all have that one person you just, it's not a rival, but it's one of those people where you draw and you're like, oh, this one I got to work for. That's Briscoe Crown. It's one of those guys where, you know, he may not be talked about on those levels. He will be soon. But it's one of those things like every time he shows up, he gives you his best. And sometimes it's going to be better than your effort on that.
I think Briscoe Crown took a little piece of Damon's confidence tonight, even though Damon got this win.
Or added to it by waking him up even more. The complacency maybe checked on that.
That's a valid point. That's the only person that knows which one of us is right now is Damon Ace himself.
You can go ask him.
That's cool. We're good.
All right, say no real talk here. Yes, that's right. We also had a national debut of Damon Ace last night as well.
He wrestled Takashita.
Yes, he did.
And he looked awesome.
Dude. And I will say this right now, if it was, and like, it was a perfect match because the boos for Konosuke right now, oh my God. Nuclear heat. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, very proud of Damon.
We know Damon here, and he is a monster, and he is a weapon in and of himself. But to see him get to that level and perform the way he did, the weapon killed it.
Against the guy
very
on
impressive.
That level right now.
Yeah. Very impressive, Damon.
All right. Moving on. Speaking of what you're wearing for merch, yes.
This guy sucks.
That guy.
This guy sucks.
Curtis Cole versus Balaam Lynx. And we all know Curtis Cole currently has 2 #1 contendership matches coming up for him. He's riding high, and he shows it again tonight by getting another W here against Balaam Lynx, your former Charge champion. Boys, what do you think about this match?
Did he really get a W, though?
Technically, yes.
I have a great idea, Marky. Real quick, I have a great idea. If he wants to be #1 contender, I don't think he should have to have 2 matches. That's not fair to Curtis Cole. He shouldn't have to wrestle twice. He's got 2. So what we do is we put him in a match, and he can wrestle Zamore and David Drake at the same time for both belts.
Handicap match style.
No, there's two separate matches. He's just wrestling them both at the same time. He has to pin both of them to win each belt.
I'm in favor of that. That's a great idea. I think that's exactly what Curtis Cole did because he's earned those title shots.
Let's give them to him.
I think that's a great way to give it to him, to be completely honest. He deserves nothing but the best. 2 champions in the ring. What could be better than that?
And he can't complain that he was tired from the previous match in the next match.
It's a good point.
But anyways,
well deserved.
Yes, and Karen had his moment. I mean, Curtis had his moments tonight where he genuinely showed he can wrestle, and he can. We give him a lot of garbage on here. He deserves all of it.
But he deserves it.
The man can wrestle. He deserves to be number one contender as much as we give him crap about it. Did he take devious ways to get that? Yeah, but that's his MO now. He once famously said, because you suck at cheating, he would know because he's really, really good at it, as we see tonight. With more brass knocks, I am really wondering if that finger's really broken still, or if that is another weapon he can use during the match to, to finger you in the eye or something with that cast. Marky, he just keeps winning, but when does the luck run out? When do the gimmicks run out for Curtis Cole? When do the knocks stop working and the shenanigans?
It is only a matter of time. He gets away with these things in sometimes what we might call an inconsequential match. There wasn't a title on the line tonight. There wasn't like an opportunity. His number one contenderships are safe. It's almost like he just does it for fun. And that's the worst part. I think that's what's going to piss off more of his future opponents than anything.
All his matching, he's trolling. He's just a troll.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. You're already number one contender for 2 championships, and this is your whole MO to cheat on Ignition. Well, you cheated one hell of an athlete this evening, and don't think that that's going to go unnoticed because Balaam Lynx is not the kind of guy that you're just going to walk around and do this to and get away with it like absolutely forever. And it almost didn't happen tonight. Balaam Lynx had more than a couple times where he was on top and this was his match to win. And that's when Curtis had to get out of the ring. That's when Curtis felt like he had to be behind the ref's back. Right when he knows he's about to lose any match, whether it's an important match or more like a keep you going type match like this against Balaam. Not taking anything away from Balaam because these are 2 very experienced guys, but there really wasn't a lot on the line here except for like pride and just a good match. Balaam threw that. He threw his pride and his great match at Curtis Cole, and Curtis Cole basically just took a dump on it and had to use the stuff not once but twice. First in the ribs and knocked Balaam out. I was basically running on 1 lung's worth of oxygen, and then the second one directly to the face to win the match. Great job, Curtis. You learned from one of the best how to cheat. And the guy that you yelled at, you said he sucked at cheating. Now you just suck. So bravo to Curtis Cole.
I mean, let's face it. Curtis Cole found an identity. He needed to separate himself, he felt, from the tag dudes. And he found an identity. As a giant Karen that complains all the time, has no dance ability whatsoever. Balaam, by the way, good job tonight.
Balaam did it so much better.
So much better. And here's the thing. It doesn't bother me that Cole's cheating. I mean, it does. But there's a difference between grabbing the tights, putting your feet on the ropes, taking a leverage pin, and then hitting someone in the ribs with brass knuckles where you're possibly shelving them for a time and affecting their career even more. And I think that's what is the worst part. You're already number one contender for 2 titles. Now you're actively trying to impact somebody else's career. If you want to cheat, that's fine, Curtis. Put your feet on the ropes, grab, that's kind of a scummy way to cheat, Marky, if I have to say that.
It kind of is, like and we go back to the match. Curtis did get his feet on the ropes, and Ref Alex made the right call to restart the match after that. So at that point in time, you got a second shot after a mistake. Go finish the match. And Curtis kind of lately knows one way to finish a match. Don't get me wrong. The match at Milestone was absolutely amazing with him, Boss, and Atiba. Great finish to that match, and Curtis was in the right place at the right time.
He used his brain. Good for him.
He actually did, and I got nothing bad to say about it because that's what you do. Put yourself in a position to win. When you know you're not going to win and you go to the stuff, you suck. You suck.
All right, did we get all your frustrations out?
He sucks.
That's impossible.
He sucks.
How's that?
Everyone should have a
impossible?
picture of Curtis Cole in their bathroom for inspiration in the morning.
I hate Curtis Cole.
I can tell.
Sucks. He used to be a good dude. Now, I don't know where his life went, that this is the way it has to go, but he's got a plan. He's got his own plan.
He needed an
And
identity. That's it. He needed to be the center of attention, Marky.
We've seen it in the world of professional wrestling. Sometimes the most honorable path is not the fastest path. I get it. I totally get it. But if you expect to not get any garbage along the way, then I got some news for you, bro. That's
There's
not
a
how this
little
thing works.
box at the bottom of that path that says, put your morals and your ideas and your sportsmanship in there because you don't need them going up this path. It's a quick way to the top, but you sacrifice a lot.
Hate it or
True.
love it. Hate it or love it. He's got 2 #1 contendership matches, and he's riding high, and he's still getting wins.
Doing both at
Unfortunately.
NRW.
Boy, whoops that ass.
NRW,
Every-
man.
Hey, every match at NRW has a stipulation.
That's right.
Danger Dean, I just gave you a really good one.
All right. Oh, look. It's my
We got our obligatory dollar.
It's my 99-cent coffee from Johnny Deathdrop.
You must be drinking McDonald's coffee. That's the only place I know you can
See,
actually still get
yeah,
a coffee
I'm
for
pretty
$1.
sure that's the only place because we were looking for coffees in Denver, obviously, last week.
Good
Not
coffee,
that-
though. It's Green Mountain. It's still good.
Hey, nothing's cheap in Denver. Nothing's $1 in Denver.
No, we tried.
They don't even
Drank a
have
lot of hotel- I drank a lot of hotel lobby coffee. Let's put it that way.
dude. They don't even have dollar trees. They have like $1.50 bushes. Like everything's expensive out there.
It's from the 70s. Huge.
Lola didn't. Oh my God, honey, you're right. I forgot. Lola never
Did
gave
Lola
us-
bring some?
No,
Did she bring you some coffee from
she
the
did
Amazon
not.
rainforest?
She did not. I forgot about that.
I figured she'd get it right from the coffee guy, the Colombian man that's on the thing with the mule. He's on the package.
Oh, that was Walt Valdez.
Yeah,
back in the
I
day.
figured. Yeah,
God, I
she's
forgot
from the
about
Amazon rainforest. I figured her 5 little monkeys would bring her the coffee.
She had a wicked busy weekend.
Absolutely.
Everybody had a wicked busy weekend. They didn't have time to bring the dudes coffee.
Well,
I
you
totally
did.
get it.
You did. You had to ref. You couldn't be drinking coffee back there.
I drank a lot of coffee back then.
You drink a lot of coffee. Period.
I just drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, coffee and tonic, as you would say.
Got my tonic right here, guy. It's all gone.
All right, I got a couple more matches here. Next up on the docket here, we had Jason Knoll going up against Mick Diamond.
Oh, isn't Mick giving it the old college try every single time? But you know what?
Try.
Every
time.
single time.
Mhm.
It really is. And he does the right thing. He tries to start fast too. He gets out there with the shots and the drop kicks. He's throwing everything he can. This is how you have to fight a big man. Trust me, I'm not a big dude. If you're standing across the ring at a guy the size of Jason Knoll, you don't give him time to come to you. You have to bring that fight, that impact to him. And Mick does everything he possibly can, but the brick wall that is Jason Knoll eventually just regains his senses. After a couple, he got a little knockback, but he regains himself. And then that's when the power comes in. And Mick manages to make him miss a splash, which is pretty cool. Hits a crossbody.
Big crossbody. He got some height.
It came off the corner. I mean, you're looking at it and you're like, wow, here it comes. Is this Mick's first win? I was right there for it. And it was so very close. Jason Knoll says no. And then the sky high from the roof of the Wimmer. And poor Mick goes down like a ton of bricks. 1, 2, 3. And Jason Knoll gets the big win here. Knoll is on fire. Knoll looking really good. This anger and this who he is now, this metamorphosis back into Jason Knoll is just taking over. And his way of doing things is just not going to change. He's not going to see anybody else's point of view. It's honestly worthless even trying to say what point of view he sees, because the only point of view is his fist in your face. And right now, Coastal, I think that suits Jason very, very well.
It does, and I said this off air while we were watching Ignition together. He reminds me a lot of Mark Henry right now in the Hall of Pain days. Like, he's just mean, he has a point to prove, and he's going to go over whoever he needs to prove that point. And as I said, minus one hiccup, at Milestone, since he's come back, he has been pretty flawless in that. And he just, with his power and his athletic ability, that's the thing, Marky. People don't realize that he's a big dude, but he can move. He is fast.
Yes.
He is a lot quicker than you give him credit for. Not you specifically, the royal you, I guess is what I was saying.
No, right.
Yeah, and that Sky High, man, that's going to make you cough your lungs straight out of your throat.
Mm-hmm.
So now Mick Diamond and his tag team partner will be coughing in the back later for different reasons, but still, this is a dominant Jason Knoll.
Yes.
And people should be on notice.
We can't even mess around with it. You can't even meme it. No. Like, Jason Knoll is a force to be reckoned with. If he stays like this with his eyes on whatever prize they're on right now, he lost that battle against your starting lineup with Kendrick and Briscoe back at Milestone. Going forward, this is the thing. We don't know where he's going forward, but all we know is he has taken every bit of that aggression and that anger with him. And that tends to suit a lot of RMP talent very, very well. So we'll have to keep an eye on Jason. But right now, he is a force.
Yes, he is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are at our main event of the evening here on Ignition, and what a main event it was. We had your reigning Ignition champion, Zamore.
Who's in chat? Hey, Zamore.
Big Z, what's up, buddy?
And he is going up against none other than...
Rob Van Sergey. Oh, no. That's what he thought he was tonight.
Sergey.
You got me good with that. I didn't know that was coming. You got me good. That was good. Yeah, he attempted to channel his inner RVD, and it didn't really work.
He does want to be Mr. Thursday Night. I think Sergey wants to be Mr. Thursday Night.
The story here, though, is Zamore, though, Coastal. Oh. This man is on top of his game right now. Ever since he has turned everything inside, everything, all of his pains and his passions going forward and leading in to be a better champion tomorrow, a better fighting champion tomorrow than he was today. He has been absolutely unstoppable. Tonight is not much different. The only time that Zamore was even reeling was a couple times Sergey was out of the way, and he managed to hit the corner on his own. Sergey does fight valiantly here, but Zamore is far too much. Sergey, bro, it's getting better and better each time. Did you guys see him leap to the top rope? He didn't even climb the rope.
Athleticism is there.
It's there. It's there. The guy just needs to put the cards together. Please don't ask McDiamond about cards, but he needs to put the cards together.
He looked a little tentative about the split-legged moonsault.
Right? He tried so hard, but he just forgot to bounce. He forgot to bounce the legs, and he just went straight down.
I think if you look, he never let go with his hands, so when he bounced, he just went straight down.
It's obvious he's practicing. He's practicing. Yeah. He's trying to get this move down pat. He wants this moonsault. One day he will hit this moonsault, the split leg, but that day...
I hope I am in the building. I hope I'm in the building when he does.
I will cheer louder than anybody could ever yell inside that arena. My goodness. That will be the day.
It's going to look like a walk-off home run at Fenway. Everyone will just rush the ring. It'll be a celebration.
Unfortunately, though, Bud, today was not that day, and Zamore ends up taking him back over and hits the big bonsai drop and gets a win, then goes over and helps Sergey up. There's some respect between the two. Zamore has shown himself to be a fantastic fighting champion who shows respect to his opponents, whether they show respect to him or not. He doesn't take the avenues he used to. He's doing the right thing now, and he's becoming a better champion because of it. Other champions can look at this and see that it's not just about beating your opponent into the floor. Sometimes the honorable W can absolutely keep the brain going forward and keeping your mind sharp so that you don't miss a beat, so that you don't have to just rely on big, devastating moves. You can go from 1 to 2 to 3 without just, I got to put my foot down his throat. And Zamore has been the crowning example of that over these last couple months. Big props going to Big Z. And Sergey, keep it going, dude. The training at Al Snow Wrestling Academy is working. We can see it. It's paying off. But just not tonight. Big Z, way too strong.
And you know what I think what is helping Zamore so much, he's not getting caught up in all of these feuds going on right now in Rocky Mountain. Not saying he doesn't have his goals.
That's
His
a
goals
valid
right
point.
now is to keep that title, which he's doing, but he's not getting caught up like Damon has Yaden on the brain all the time. Vice versa with Yaden.
Rent
And
free.
Curtis Cole is just angry at everybody. But Zamora has kept himself just tunnel vision, focused on the task at hand, defending his title. And I think that's a big strength for him. He doesn't have any reason to get unfocused right now.
It's a very
And it's
valid
showing.
point.
Night in, night out, the kid's at the top of his game. Big Z, keep it going, bud.
And it shows, man. It shows. I mean, ever since he became Ignition champion, I mean, he's been rocking and rolling. He's been in normal matches, to handicap matches, to triple threat matches, and he's walking away champion every single time.
We haven't heard a bit of complaining. Oh, triple threat match, no thing, nothing. Just okay, let's do it.
He's the one that went out and confronted Damon and Kendrick the other night and said, well, let's go. Let's just do it. You want a match? You want a match? You both think you're the number one contender? Well, the champ is right here. Ring the bell. And he came out victorious.
Zamora is your definition of a fighting champion.
Yes, he is. And
He's got Repek. He's got Repek.
He's got Repek.
Yes, he does.
All right. That was your main event this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to conclude our review of this, of tonight's Ignition. All right. Your final thoughts on this episode before we get into our normal spiel?
Just more of the same every week. Ignition is something you need to turn into. It's bridging the gap between the charges every week, and it's developing more of what you see every week on Charged. It is just it's more Rocky Mountain Pro, and why can you complain?
I'm loving the debuts. I was very impressed with Axel Savage tonight. This is a place where people can come and get their name and their face out there and show what they can do. And Axel Savage did a really good job in front of a totally different audience, in front of the RMP faithful, all of us and all of you out there, and really impressed. And everybody shows up and shows out when Ignition comes around. You want a definition of what pro wrestling is? You watch Charged, but you watch Ignition.
And now, we haven't done this in a couple weeks. Marky Pins.
Yes, sir.
It is time for the review of the point standings as of June 8th, 2023. Sir, you have the floor.
I got the floor guy, huh?
You got the floor.
All right, we can do that. We can absolutely do that. So there was a lot of shakeup tonight in the point standings. Now, with last week's matches as well, factoring in the pre-show of Milestone, not the Colorado Cup, not the Rumble itself, but the match that we saw before it, the two matches that we saw.
Were those counting as
factoring
points?
those in? They should. They should. As it stands right now, by my count, Curtis Cole is your number one contender with 5 points, sitting there just playing games. Right there. How you doing? But under him, sitting in first place in the Drive for 5 right now, believe it or not, fellas, it's Caden Koyama at 3 points. Sitting high, riding high on his Milestone victory. I was there. I had to watch it. I had to count.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you definitely had a say in that match.
But I cannot tell you how good it felt to disqualify Johnny Casanova in that second fall. I was very neutral down the middle the entire match because both of those knuckleheads deserved nothing better. I wanted to watch them beat each other up all night long. And DQ and Johnny Casanova is like a career highlight to the asshole.
You
But
would have
anyway,
even given them a little more leeway so they could beat each other up even more.
I'm not going to say I did, but I did. So Caden Koyama is leading at 3 points. There is, from my calculations, a 4-way tie at 2 points. We have Panthro, we have Atiba, we have Johnny Casanova, and we have Sergey at 2 points. I'm sorry, excuse me. Sergey is at 1. Sergey's lost, I forgot to minus his point. We have a 3-way tie in second place. Panthro, Atiba, and Johnny Casanova at second place. There are 5 competitors, 5 at 1 point. Kendrick LaRoe, Echo with his win tonight. Now that he's not champion, he earns his point tonight. Jason Knoll earned his point, and Briscoe Crown earned his point right there, along with Sergey, like I said, at 1. So there is a big bottleneck at 2 and at 1 right here.
Briscoe lost tonight.
Yes, I know. He was at 2. He's at 1.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he was at 2. He's now at 1. We have, by my calculations, now that Damon Ace is the NOW champion, his name comes off the list from 0 points. The only person at 0 right now is Brumac. Brumac was in that 4-point bounty match, but he did lose. So he goes from 1 to 0. And then there's a few at -1. Axel Savage. Balaam Lynx goes to -1 because he started at 0. Tengu at -1. McDiamond at -3. And Cushman, with his loss tonight, goes down to -5. Cushman is now the caboose of the ignition train of the Drive to 5. So that's your point standings. Koyama, Panthro, Atiba, Casanova, and then a slew at 1 point. The points are getting very tight. Every match means so much, and you never know when you'll be in that match for the President's Bounty of 3 or 4 points. So anything can change on any given night of Ignition. You need to be here to watch Ignition every single week to see who that next #1 contender is going to be after Zamore takes care of that knuckleball known as Curtis Cole. I'm just calling it now.
You need one of those like Green Monster style tote boards behind you where you can just like put the numbers up and move people around as they win and lose.
I'm working on something different because the paper gets really messy after a week or two. So I got to work. I'm working on something different.
Maybe you should use a whiteboard.
No, I need something a little more 21st century. I'll figure something out. I'm an old guy. I got to figure out the tech stuff.
All right, here we go. Last thing you need is for the masshole to get into technology when it comes to the point standings.
Dude, that was like a self-rib. I'm pretty damn good with this stuff, all right? My generation made AOL. Stop.
Why not?
If we live through it in Carta, we can live through, this.
Thank you. Yes.
Encarta.
Encarta.
All
that was
right.
an encyclopedia, and there are now children that don't know what that is.
All right, let's switch it over to the other guy here. Coastal.
Yo.
You are the self-proclaimed inventor of the Beacon of the Week.
No, you dubbed me that, but yeah, I did invent it.
Yeah,
that's true.
It was your idea, so I dubbed you. So there you go.
Well, thank you, sir.
Oh, Zamore. I don't know about that.
What happened?
I don't know about that. Ooh.
Cole is like Coca-Cola disgusting. I'm a Pepsi guy, so I don't care.
No, I'm a Coke guy. I'm a Coca-Cola guy by far. By far.
Hold off on the dudes and belts for after. Hold off on the dudes and foods and belts for after. We're almost there.
Okay, that's true. We are.
Let's get.
You need my beacon of the week, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Well, my beacon this week is more of it's a dark beacon because it is the weapon Damon Ace. Not only did he win the championship, he also was on a national televised product last night, as well as another great showing tonight against Briscoe Crown. Damon, he accomplished a plan. He set it in motion. He went about it by his ways. He now holds all the cards in the battle with Mercury. He has the belt. He gets to pick who Merc goes against, and Mercury has to beat him. He holds all the cards now. He is my beacon of the week.
So the Massholes beacon of the week is going directly to the brand new Lockett's champion, Lilith Grimm. She had herself one hell of a match last week and she finally chased and she got that Lockett's championship she's been looking for so long. She's one of those that carry the heart and soul of RMP with her around wherever she goes. Ending the asylum, having another fantastic match tonight with Lola and still winning. Lilith Grimm is going to be the Lockett's champion, I think, as long as she wants to be. Don't get me wrong, that Lockett's division is hot right now. But to be on top of it and get that title the way that she did, ending the asylum, that reign of terror that Salem, Noel, and JC had, ending that so we can all move forward in the Lockett's division. Lilith Grimm is the Massholes beacon of the week.
Ready for this one, boys?
What you got?
My beacon of the week this week is none other than the Golden State God, CBD.
I hate it, but you're right.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
He defended the Charge Championship at Milestone against Remy D successfully. And he also defended the Charge Championship last Tuesday on Charge against Balaam Lynx. Granted, both controversial ways of doing it. But yet again, W's, that's all that matters. He defended the Charge Championship twice in a matter of, 4 days, 5 days?
Yeah.
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 You got to give it to him. Got to give it to him. CBD is the beacon.
You know,
of the
I
week.
think he got so lucky on Charged. He got so lucky that half the people in Vegas just by default lost all their money at that moment in time.
Lucky on
Because
Charge.
he sucked all the luck out of the room west of the Mississippi when he got away with doing what he did, tossing the megaphone to Lynx, and then like pulling the Eddie Guerrero moment, which is usually beautiful, but he did it right with the referee looking. And as Ref Alice got rid of the megaphone, that's when he went to the animals. That was the luckiest Charge title defense I've seen in years.
But you weren't expecting that, weren't you?
That's irrelevant.
That's
irrelevant. It's still lucky.
As crafty as holy hell.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Yeah. We already had to give Johnny Casanova props.
He screwed over Remy, he screwed over Lynx, and he's still carrying that beautiful belt around with him. THC is so much better.
Can't argue.
THC is way better, isn't it?
So many people were
CBD.
asking for CBD merch at Beer Start.
Probably the first time they ever saw him.
Yeah.
Must have been.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is MIT close by? Maybe.
I'm
just reading earlier comments. Mr. Fourth Row, is MIT close by?
Right in, just outside Boston, right in a little city called Cambridge. Actually, right next to where the masshole grew up.
Yeah, it's about 40
We used to go to
minutes away.
MIT and get in trouble in the summertime with all the college girls.
About 40 minutes away from where I'm at.
About that.
Bowling alley in Cambridge.
Used to be. Gone.
All right, real quick before we start paying all the bills and doing the promotion stuff, the Coke question. Going way back for when Zamora.
So, if I have to pick, I'm more likely going to pick Coca-Cola over Pepsi. Just it's I don't really like cola.
Just fair. Z, I misunderstood your comment earlier. Now I understand what you mean, that you'd absolutely want to devour him. The masshole has a massive drinking problem when it comes to Coke in a glass. So if you want to go get a nice case of those, and after you beat Curtis, dude, I will sponsor 2 or 3 cases of cola, and we can sit down and drink and talk about how you just whooped that ass. That's fine with me. Masshole sponsors that one.
Yeah, I like Coke, but I'm more of a Pepsi guy. I'm more of a Pepsi guy. And quite honestly, I like the Diet Pepsi better than the Diet Coke.
Yes, I will go with that.
I'm a Pepsi guy, but I also drink Coke, although nowadays it has to be zero sugar, diabetes yet. You have a diabetes
Actually, the
problem.
zeros taste
Zeros
to
are
the
good,
masshole.
yeah.
To the masshole, the zeros taste better than the diets.
Well, except Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. There's something.
No, that's gross.
There.
I mean the colas. I mean like
Right,
the Coke, Pepsi or Coke.
No.
Like Coke
If
Zero.
it's Mountain Dew, you got to go Code Red or full flavor, or just don't bother.
You just go full flavor. If you're gonna go for the Dew, you
I'm a Code Red guy. I like Code Red.
Code Red. Code Red's not bad. Code Red's not bad.
All right. Let's go pay some bills and let's sign off for the night, shall we?
Got to do the
Sounds
thing.
good.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you leave a comment below the VOD so you don't miss. Well, I butchered that. I am getting that tired. And make sure you leave a comment below the video. It helps us out with the algorithm and push the shows out to all the masses of wrestling fans out there on YouTube. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss another Dudes and Belts show, Ignition, or Charge show during the week, every week, here on youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro. Also, make sure you are up to date with your membership for Tier 2 at $9.99 so that you can you have the opportunity to watch NRW on August 3rd. That's not too far away. It comes up fast. I mean, Milestone came up pretty quick after Peak of the Pack, so these pay-per-views just come out of nowhere, and before you know it, it'll be here. So make sure you are up to date on your membership for Tier 2. If you are a Tier 1 supporter, you will not be able to watch NRW. It's only an extra $5 more. Just make the upgrade and become a Tier 2 member. Not only will you have the opportunity to watch NRW, but you will also have all of your Tier 1 perks, along with our once-a-month members-only live stream with an RMP talent, which I got to get on that. I completely forgot about that. So, we're probably going to have one at the end of this month. Just don't know who yet.
Yeah.
Also, wait, I had one more thing. Oh, that's right. Make sure you pay attention, and it's important now that you subscribe and you turn on notifications, because there will be more content getting pushed out here on the YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen, last night there was a couple shorts that got pushed out here on this channel. There will be a shortened version of a video getting pushed out tomorrow as well, with us, the dudes, and the main event of Charge this past Tuesday. We will be pushing out a video of the actual match itself with our thoughts and opinions on that match. That comes out tomorrow, and there will be other shows, if not shows, there will be other videos and shorts getting pushed out in the coming days. And I'm pretty sure we actually saw a new short coming within the next couple days on the main event of Ignition.
Saw something come up short.
Yeah, we did. I certainly hope so.
Also, guys, this Sunday we will also be reviewing Milestone 13 in its entirety. We have not gotten a chance to sit down and review the entire show. We will be doing that this Sunday with the RMP Encyclopedia, Lucas Bradwell. He will be joining us on Sunday as we go through everything, including the pre-show. The pre-show will be added due to the fact that the Colorado Cup was during the pre-show. So for that, the pre-show will be added into our discussion this time around, and you're not going to want to miss our thoughts and opinions, and maybe Lucas's thoughts as well. So
I'm sure he'll have a few thoughts. He was there.
So make sure you tune in this Sunday for the Milestone 13 review by the Dudes and Belts. Other than
That's
that,
us.
I think that is it for me tonight. Guys, have anything else to add?
Yeah.
What's that?
I hate Curtis Cole.
I figured you were going
I
to say
hate Curtis
that.
Cole. You suck.
Do it one more time.
I hate you, Curtis Cole.
He hates Curtis Cole.
Oh, man. Smell like 3-day-old trash bag and car exhaust every time I watch his matches.
Ugh.
I mean, he wins, but you puke a little bit.
He looks like he would be sticky.
Probably.
All right,
I don't want
ladies
to go
and
there,
gentlemen. All right. Let's wrap everything up. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, we greatly appreciate you. We will be back on Sunday for the review of Milestone 13 with Lucas Bradwell. As always, folks,
Appreciate
for
you.
myself, Johnny Deathdrop, we appreciate you, Yaden. Also, Crusader on the left, Marky Pins on the right. We will see you guys on Sunday. Until then, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Take care, folks. Yes, I hate
I do
Chris
too.
Cole. We get it.